Hi, you're watching A Better Day, A Better Life, and I'm your host, Debbie Givens, the show that brings you tips and tools and resources, advice to help you start your day and also to help enlighten you so that you can live a better day and have a better life. With me today, I've had him as a guest many times, and the information and advice that he gives us is so, I don't know, it's vital to me. And I'm proud to have him back, Lloyd Strayhorn, astrology numerologist. Thank you for coming back on the show.
Thank you, beautiful. How are you?
I'm great. And
good to see you again, Debbie. Good to be back.
Now I had brought up about family astrology. I was telling you before the show that taking my family as an example, we have a number of Tauruses, and not just in the immediate family, but immediate cousins, and it's just kind of like, whoa, kind of fascinating. And I've heard other people who recognize, yeah, we have a lot of X or Y sign in our family. So, and you mentioned you're doing a book. You have another book that you're planning to write.
I'm working on a book now. It's called Lloyd's Book of Numbers and Numerology Guide for the 21st Century.
Interesting. What do you plan to cover in there?
Everything.
Okay.
Everything from relationships to working, to career, to children, to health, to diet and nutrition, to vacations and best places to live. It's going to be great.
Yeah, that's what I want to know, because you and I, again, we're talking before the show, and I was definitely plans to move, but what's the best,
Certain cities are better. For example, you're a #1.
Right.
New York is a #1 city.
Right.
Atlanta's a #1 city.
That's why people
Boston is a #1 city.
Boston,
you see?
okay.
And I mean, there are other #1 cities.
Right, Seattle.
But there are other #2 cities, #3 cities. So it's about finding out, how do I determine your number? And as an astronumerologist, what I do is I take the person's date of birth. So yes, you're a Taurus, but you're born on the 10th of May. By the way, Rick Santorum is in that bag too, and he's a Taurus, okay?
I remember, I was horrified when I saw he had the same birthday.
And he's born the same day as you.
Yes.
So he didn't make the top 10 in the initial debate, but he got in the second minor debate. So therefore, you no longer become a Taurus to me. You become a Taurus 1 person because you're born on the 10th day of the month.
Right.
And 1 + 0 is 1. So, for example, if you look at Donald Trump, he's a Gemini, but he's a Gemini 5 because he's born on the 14th. If you take Chris Christie, he's a Virgo, but he's a Virgo 6. If you look at Ben Carson, he's a Virgo 9 because he's born on the 18th.
Right.
If you look at Lindsey Graham, that was also in there that we didn't mention, who was born on July 18th. He's a Cancer, but he's a Cancer 9. Now, ironically, more Cancers have been elected, like Virgos and Aquarians, and he, Lindsey Graham, happened to be born on the 18th. 1 + 8 is 9.
Right.
But Donald Trump ragged the brother so much, okay?
Oh, my God.
Gave out his phone number out there for everybody and their mother to call him. And so it hasn't been the same trip ever since.
Yeah, that's the dirty side of Gemini.
But it's business. It's business. See,
It's business.
See, it's not politics. So
well, we'll be interested to see if he stays in for the long run.
Over. He can just take a business life. And sometimes, with business persons, they have to make what are called hard-nosed decisions.
And moves. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But it's all about the dollar bill.
Well, speaking of numbers, you have a class coming up.
Yes. I'm going to be teaching a 5-week workshop, a 5-week course at the City College of New York.
Okay.
And the course is How to Read a Person Like a Book.
Okay, so you're offering it again. Okay.
Yes, it starts September the 16th. And the number for people, if they want to call and register, is 212-650-7321.
Okay, what's that number again?
212-650-7321.
Okay, and everyone can
sign up
for this class
or go online at City College. It's in professional education, professional continuing education, and sign up, and it's great. I've been teaching it for the last 2 years.
And it was probably an evening course?
It is an evening course from 6:30 to 8:30 for 5 weeks.
Okay, during the week.
It's always on a Wednesday.
And is it required reading for the class?
Yes, my book.
Okay, numbers and you. Okay,
Yeah,
so how to
my
read a
book.
person is going to go by numbers, but also so there's some astrology in there?
Well, yes, because what I do in the lesson plans, by the time they get to lessons 8, 9, and 10, I begin to merge astrology, and because more people are familiar with astrology, but actually numerology is older. It's like the question of the chicken and the egg, which came first. Numerology came first because anybody who's ever gotten a chart done no, when you go to an astrologer, you got to give them sets of numbers. You got to give them your birthday, which is the number of the month, the number of the day, the number of the year, the number of the time you were born,
Preferably,
and then the location, so they can figure out the longitude and the latitude, which you determine the numbers. So everything is numbers.
Wow.
And you know what I'll tell, especially the guys, you know, we guys is always looking at the most beautiful. I says, man, suppose you met the most beautiful woman in the world, and you wanted to get to know her and says, honey, can I get your number? She says, just dial any number. Man, you be called till the cows come home. But if you get the right 10 numbers in the right order, you get the right results,
you make your connection.
And you get the right Thank you.
and that's part of the, you know, that's part of the, the reason to use astrology, numerology, and your course.
What numerology does is help you be in the right place at the right time in perfect harmony with the universe.
Yes.
Now, people don't look at it like that. What people know.
No, but say that again, because that's really important.
Yeah, well, with numerology, it is designed to make sure that you're in the right place at the right time in perfect harmony with the universe. Now, what people don't think of that. What people think of is, man, they was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I've never heard them say the opposite. But when things didn't go right, well, that's because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Well, so very rarely do people say, well, Stray, how can I be in the right place at the right time?
Yes, and that's what we want to know, because that's how we can have a better day and live a better life.
Yes.
If we are in the right place at the right time, and some of this information we can get from astrology and numerology.
Yep. And they can get it from my bestseller, Numbers in You, or my forthcoming book.
Right. And mention the title, or do you have a working title?
I do have the title. It's Lloyd's Book of Numbers, a numerology guide for the 21st century.
Now, both your books that you have another book.
Yeah, this is my third book.
This is your third book.
Yes, that's
what are your other two books?
The other books were called Numbers in You.
Okay.
The publisher, at that time, I had a popular radio station show on WBLS, WLIB. I was on WWRL. And everything was called Numbers in You. And they says, no, Lloyd, you know, everybody knows you as Numbers in You. So I had them put, please make sure it has been revised and expanded. So when they're picking it up, they don't think they're picking up the same book.
Okay.
So
I guess
this one I'm going to change, so there's no confusion.
And is there less books on numerology than there are on astrology? Is that why you chose to talk about numerology, or you?
Yeah, there are far less books on the subject of numerology and tons of books on astrology. But whether it's astrology or numerology, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Everybody. You can't pick up a paper without looking at the horoscopes. The only papers except the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times, those are the only two that don't carry a horoscope. If you look at even the local newspapers, Metro, AM, Daily News, Post, whatever they all got a horoscope section, whether you believe it or not. They all got a horoscope section.
And and when we
even
read them.
magazines like O Magazine.
Yeah.
You know,
or even TV Guide.
But Elle is the only magazine that features a numerology column.
Oh.
That's the difference with that magazine.
Oh.
Harper's Bazaar, Vogue, all of them except Elle.
And that's the first place you've ever seen a numerology column?
In my experience, yes. Because I try to do research to find out where these things are, to understand that it's not just an isolated, in a corner thing that millions and millions and millions and millions of people, countless hundreds of millions of people tune in every day to either read their horoscope, listen to somebody's radio program about it. And I've been doing this for umpteen years, and I've never met anybody that was bored to say,
how many years? Give us a ballpark.
Years.
Well, let's go back to, I won't say the start of astrology. You're saying the numerology is a little bit older than astrology?
It is much older, yes.
And I'm assuming it was used back in the time of ancient Greece, ancient Egypt.
My questions about these origins of astrology, numerology is, who were the people, who were the men and women that sat down and says, well, you know, anybody born between April 22nd and May 20th would be Tauruses. How did they assign? See, those are the kind of questions I met at this level. See, why was Taurus assigned, the bull assigned to Taurus? How was the twins assigned to Gemini? Why was the fish assigned to, and who did it? Who assigned it?
That's
How
interesting.
Did they know?
I only have vague knowledge of that, but
if the number one means those are people who don't take orders well, they make lawyers, they make doctors, they make scientists, they make entrepreneurs, they make heads of governments, heads of states. I mean, I can name ones all day long that represent that. Who decided if you're number one that would be the characterization of that characteristic of that particular number.
Yeah,
so
right.
so I know this, whoever did it, it still stands the test of time.
Wow.
And that's all that counts.
No, and I'm glad we have it. I mean, again, you know, this show is about giving people tools, resources, tips, advice, wisdom, knowledge, even if it's ancient knowledge, that we can use to, you know, I always figure it's about figuring yourself out, you know, doing inner work and
well, really,
and
that's
navigating.
what it's designed to do, to thine own self be true, as Shakespeare says, but more to so, not only to thine own self be true, but then understand the other people in your space, in your world, in your environment, your mom, your dad. For example, you had mentioned, and we just touched on a little bit about the family.
Right.
But why is it that one parent will fuss at one child more than the other who did something just as bad? I found out, and one of the chapters I'm going to have in my new book is called Forensic Numerology.
Wow.
Yeah, which
that's
is
a new
how
word.
where by taking the birthday of the particular person, I can either link it to his mom or dad, or link it to his mate or children or friends.
Interesting.
Everything tends to follow.
Wow.
For example, there was a gentleman, student I taught, he's a life coach now. He's a Virgo, born on the 2nd of September. Well, he had 3 marriages. One was on the 11th, one was on the 20th, and the other woman he married was on the 29th. So if you look at it, he's born on the 2nd. He married the first one on the 11th. 1 + 1 is 2. Then he married the next one on the 20th, and she was born on the 20th. 2 + 0 is 2. Then he did the married his third wife, who was born on the 29th. Now, for example, in 2012 election, there was the debate between Vice President Al Gore, and
Biden.
Biden,
Right.
and Ryan. I think that was his name.
Paul Ryan? Or?
Paul Ryan, or
Okay.
something like that. Right. Well, the event.
Ryan Paul, because then there's Ron
whatever,
Paul.
Paul Ryan, whatever. But the event took place on the 2nd. Joe Biden was born on the 20th. That's a 2. Then Ryan was born on the 29th in Aquarius, which is a 2. The date of the interview took place on a 2. And the interviewer was Gwen Ifill, who was born October 2nd.
Good,
which is
great.
A 2.
So did that favor either one of them, or no? Actually, it was a good.
It was a
for both
good
of them.
day for both of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
See,
But it's like lining things up.
right.
That's all.
Well, that's a good thing to know. I mean, you know, should
Give
I
you
get
another-
a job interview? It's like, okay, I can't have it on a 9 day. I
Give
need
you
to have it on
another
a 1
example
day.
how things is. When I saw the movie Dreamgirls with Beyonce, Nikki Noni Rose, Jennifer Hudson,
Right.
I says whoever did it, I wonder whether they were astrologers. Why? All 3 of the main character women were Virgos.
Really?
Nikki
All 3 of them?
Beyonce was born September 4th. Nikki Noni Rose was born September 6th. And Jennifer Hudson was born September 12th. All Virgos within a
Wow.
matter of a week and a half.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm very conscious of observing these things.
And that would make you think that, okay, so then you're thinking, okay, well, who was the casting director, right, and the
Yeah.
director, and what were their signs?
But if you look at the male protagonists in the movie, Jamie Foxx and
Eddie Murphy?
both of them were fire signs.
Wow.
Yes. And I enjoyed the movie.
And
I enjoyed it astrologically, saying, wow, did they know
And the
those
Virgos, of
birthdays?
course, were the earth signs.
Yeah.
Both
yeah.
fire signs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, I have countless examples to show how numbers, and that's going to be in the book too. So it'll be numbers from real life examples so people can see. I think what happens with numerology and astrology and human nature, I think, we're so busy looking in somebody else's backyard about them that we fail to look under our own backyard.
Yes, and that's
under
it.
our own feet we have things.
Exactly, and that's why this show is here. We need to look, we
Yeah.
need to, keep the focus on ourselves.
And so although I'll point out celebrities like Michael Jackson and his number 2.
He was a Virgo too, right?
Yes, he was Virgo. So it's interesting, speaking of that little tidbits. Charlie Parker in the jazz era was called the King of Bop.
Ah,
He was born on August 29th. Well, Michael Jackson, born on August 29th, was called the King of Pop.
yes.
So one was the King of Bop, the bebop days, and one was the King of Pop.
And
Both
is it-
born on the same day.
Now, is there something unique about the 29th, or
Well, Oprah Winfrey's born on the 29th.
Right.
She's made a ton of money.
I know. That's why I'm wishing I was born on the 29th. But I'll take 10 because...
No. But see, this is the point. That's why I have a chapter in the book on money, because no matter what your number, I can give you a list of people who are super wealthy. Okay?
For any of the three...
For any of the numbers.
Any of the
whether you're number
9
one,
numbers.
whether you're number 2, whether you're number 3, whether you're number 4. But I will say this, of all the money makers, number 6s tend to make the most money.
Really, 6?
That is those born on the 6th, the 15th, or the 24th. So when you look at Howard Hughes, he was born on the 15th. If you look at J. Paul Getty, he was born on the 24th. No, Howard Hughes was born on the 24th. J. Paul Getty was born on the 15th, for example. And then, or if you're under a Taurus. So you're a Taurus. Because Taurus rules the second house in astrology called the house of possession or money.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Because the first house is ruled by Aries, and the first house is what? The self, right?
That's right. And the house of possessions, which is, if you want to know how you're going to make your money, the 10th house is the house of career. That's Capricorn. But both these houses, the second house and the 10th house, are earth signs.
Right.
Earth people are very pragmatic.
Right.
So if you look at the New York Stock Exchange, it was founded under the sign of Taurus on May 17.
Thank
when
goodness.
it's doing well, don't they say it's bullish? Well, what is the sign assigned to? I mean, it's so obvious in your face type of things that people see it and they don't see it.
Right. The lingo or the secret reference to it is in what people call it.
And if you go to Wall Street, you'll see a big old bull down there, okay? That
and everybody
shows
gets
you.
their picture taken.
Yeah. The only thing when they say it's bearish, I don't know where they got that from, but I know where they got the bull from. When it's doing well, it's bullish.
Wow. So
you're in a good spot, really. You're in a good place.
Well, this isn't just for me, but I would like, I do want to know because I've felt shaky, but I don't know if that's because...
No, all of us, I think it's human nature that all of us want to do better.
Right.
All of us want to be better. And sometimes in the moments, those moments of doubts, as we were talking before the show started, taking another Virgo moving forward next month, Tyler Perry. That Tyler Perry in California, a lot of people don't know that this man was once homeless.
Isn't that something?
Didn't have a pot or you know what, or a place to sleep, and had somebody at that moment says, you know what, buddy? One day you're gonna be a multimillionaire, you're gonna have countless movies making millions and millions of dollars, you're gonna have TV sitcom, you're gonna have a studio in Atlanta, the president's gonna come down and visit, although they tried to burn it up, but that's
I
a whole
noticed
nother
that.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay, we got some haters, because he's born on the 13th, it's a 4, and 4 is the number of secret enemies. But that's a whole nother thing.
Really? 4?
Yep, that's the number of secret enemies.
Well, both my
Jealousy,
parents
envy.
both my parents are born on the 4th of the month.
Yeah, but they tend to be misunderstood. See, now, your parents' numbers are the 4 and 1, and your numbers are the 1 and 4, and that's the link.
No,
That's
they're
why
both 4s.
Yes, but 4 has a companionship number. See, they're the sun numbers, the moon numbers. The sun numbers are the 1 and the 4. The number 1, your number, rules the summer side of the sun where the daylight is longer, the temperature is higher. The number 4 rules the winter side of the sun where the daylight is shorter and the temperature is cooler. So if you say a 1, I automatically tag in the 4. So since she's a 4, your parents are 4s, I automatically tag in the 1. To give you an example of that, President Obama is a number 4. Does he not have open enemies, secret enemies? He has all kinds of enemies.
They haven't made it secret.
But 4 being visionary, they tend to be able to, and despite the lack of cooperation in both houses, he's still been able to accomplish what he did, which is short of amazing. This is why I wrote an article recently saying that this man, President Barack Hussein Obama, will be in the Guinness records considered one of the greatest presidents this nation has had.
Wow.
Can't prove it yet.
Because he's a 4. Now, what about Hillary?
Not
Let's say
just a 4, but he did the Affordable Care Act,
Right.
Which they want to call Obamacare. In psychology, when I was studying that, those are called charge words. And they did an interesting TV interview where a guy in the street went out and says, do you like Obamacare? They says, no. Well, what about the Affordable Care Act? They said, yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's designed to move people in another direction. But it is the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, period.
Right.
And by the way, it has 5 letters because his numbers are the 4, 1, and 5, the president's numbers.
Now, Hillary is born on the 26th of the month, so that makes her an 8.
Her numbers are the 8, 9, and 6. And that's why next year is going to be important to her because 9 is one of her numbers. 2016 also adds up to a 9, plus it governs the sign of Scorpio.
And you had also predicted that the next president would be Democratic.
Yes, probably so, based upon what's happening on the Republican side of this.
Yes, they continue to have a show.
They're going to sort all that out. But there's more probably going on behind the doors than what we see when we turn on our sets to watch what's going up front.
Right. Right now, it just looks like a show.
Yeah, because as you know, one of the things they was talking of, well, he really shouldn't be, he referring to Donald Trump, a part of this, because he's, you know, loudmouth, but he's just being very honest and direct. He is saying that which the politicians would not want to say because it's not the political thing to say.
And he jumps in hasn't he jumped in the past 3 elections, and it has not been his time.
Yeah.
And I don't know if based on what you've already said, him being a Gemini, you know, it's not his time, but he seems to be the pot stirrer. You know,
well, he's stirred up a lot of pots. He's been very honest, and he's called some people out, all the politicians.
And is that typical of a Gemini?
Well, with Geminis, it's an air sign. It's a mutable sign, which means you don't know how they're going to go.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, but I mean, it's good. Mutable signs mean there are 3 types of signs. There are the cardinal signs. The cardinal signs represent the change of the seasons. Thus, Aries is spring, Cancer is summer, Libra is fall, and Capricorn is winter. Then you have the fixed signs, which means once the seasons change, now we're deep into it. That's the fixed signs. So that would be Taurus, that's you.
Right. Spring, right? Okay.
Then Leo.
Summer.
Yeah, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius.
So Aquarius is the winter.
And then there are the mutable signs. Those signs that are changing just as we're now about to leave one season and just before we edge into another season.
And you said
those
Gemini.
mutable signs are Gemini and Virgo and Sagittarius and Pisces.
Sagittarius,
So everybody plays their role.
Right.
And so, and listen, since you can't change your sign, I mean, you can lie about it, but since you can't change your sign or your number, my objective is why not understand it so you can maximize it. Make
exactly.
Use of it.
That's why
you can't change.
I keep bringing you on the show and we keep talking about astrology and numerology, because it's about, I'm not saying getting the advantage, because you and I talked about the ethics of it and people using it to their advantage, which is to somebody else's disadvantage. But you know, as part of the journey and figuring all this out. Why am I here? You know, what is my purpose? And then getting to doing that purpose despite all the obstacles and despite all the you know, the misgivings you have about having your purpose.
And in human nature, we have it where it's always something. You know, like for example, I wanted to be real tall, but Mother Nature said, "That's it, fella. So what you gonna do?"
Exactly.
So
work
do
with
I roll over and play dead? Do I not be productive, or whatever the case is? So it seems to be human nature. When it's hot, we want it cold. When it's cold, we want it hot. When
it's straight, we want it curly.
When we're with somebody, we want to be by ourselves. When we by ourselves, we want to go figure. Human nature.
Right. We always want what we don't have.
At that moment.
But we always have hope if we, you know ourselves, and again, from astrology and numerology, and that's why I've been piling up all that information, and we are giving you folks this information so that you can know yourselves and maximize the gifts and the abilities and talents that you've been given. And if you don't know what they are, you can get a clue or from astrology and numerology, because attributes are what we learn from the numbers and from our astrological sign. And they're general. You want to get a chart obviously done that's specific to your birth date, time, and place. That gives you more personal information.
And you're absolutely right, because when one reads a horoscope in a newspaper or magazine, that's very general at best.
Right, so sometimes it applies to you and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to fit.
Right.
So if you want to know, go to a professional numerologist, a professional astrologer or metaphysician, and really get more specifics, because there's a lot to you. And once you do, they'll understand that they all have their power periods, so they can be in the right place at the right time in perfect harmony with the universe.
Excellent, excellent. So, and that's the type of information we're trying to give you on this show.
I have a toll-free number, which is 1-800-581-4401. The number again is 1-800-581-4401. 1.
And on your website, you do mention the book that's
Yeah, they can
forthcoming.
purchase the book. The book can be sent to them autographed.
Consultations, I suppose?
Yes, I do consultations.
Okay, and that'll be available.
Yeah, everything is online. My CD, relationships online. Everything is online.
And do you talk about astrology and numerology on separate pages on your website?
Well, I do have topics. I do have, and one of them is comparing a person's birth number. If you're a number 1 and I'm a number 7, how do we get along? If you're a number 2 and that person's a number 6, how do you guys get along? So I start with the number 1 first.
Okay.
And I'll say a number 1 compared to a number 2, a number 1 compared to a number 3, a number 1 compared to a number 4.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah.
So there's some information that we can hang our.
There's a lot of information.
That we can glean a little bit of information, get ourselves started in knowing who we are, and then moving on to getting specific information, you know, through getting a chart or some kind of consultation, which you do over the phone.
Yes, I
as
do it
well
on phone and in person.
Excellent, excellent.
The technology allows it where now I can be over here, you're over there, and I can record it and send it to you.
Right, and you also do not tours, but you do other shows. You travel.
Shows.
Right,
yeah.
right.
I'll be on a satellite show after this weekend on Monday for 2 hours.
Wow. Okay, talking about numerology and excellent, excellent. So Lloyd, I want to thank you for coming to the show. It's always you always have the best information for us because we get a little bit closer to finding out who we are and maximize what we know.
Okay.
So am I. So I wish I would be more nosy about myself than I am about other people, but that's another story.
It's hard to be nosy about yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. I can read everybody except me.
Yeah.
I mean, in theory, I know what cycle I'm in, what personal month I'm in, but it's not the same as if somebody born on my birthday walk up. I'll read them just like that. Turn around, read me, boom, go right out the window. Go figure.
I know it's hard, but that's the purpose of the show. Self-focus, focus on ourselves, improve ourselves, evolve, transcend, you know, whatever we're going through. So I'm so glad that all of you have tuned in. This has been A Better Day, A Better Life. I'm your host, Debbie Givens, and with me has been Lloyd Strayhorn, astronumerologist.
And I have enjoyed myself to no end.
Thank you so much for coming on the show again, and hopefully we'll see you in the future. Good luck.
Oh yeah, thanks so much, dear.
Thank you. Have a good day, everybody.